All right, let's do a little bit at least of the speech that we began of the Rebbe and the Dvar Malchut. Okay, I muted somebody because there's nothing personal, just there's this background noise. Okay. Since okay, so we were talking about what were we talking about? Dividing the land of Israel up. We talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the previous class. This week's Torah portion talks about dividing the land of Israel up, and it's dividing the land of Israel up was done by many means, and one of them was by lots. It was lots were drawn, that there was the name of each tribe written on one lot, and the name of the area that the tribe was supposed to live on another lot, and the lots were drawn out and said, I am such and such a tribe, and I am for this and this portion. And the lots themselves called out. They yelled out. So the Rebbe said the reason for this is to show that the means to achieve a goal are as important as the goal itself. And that every moment that we are on the way to achieve a good goal, every moment is important. What's it referring to in our case? The exile. We are now Jews. We are in exile. We're all over the world. We don't feel God. We don't feel our identity. We mysteriously still stubbornly hold on to our Jewish identity, even those non-religious Jews. They know that they're Jews. And so we don't know what it means. We know that it must be something good or something really deep, because we hold on to it. And it still insists, right, that even no matter what happens, the Jews still feel that they're Jews. Eventually, this is now we're in exile. Every moment of the exile is important. Awaken your Jewish identity now in everything that you do, wherever you are. You don't have to be in the land of Israel. And conversely, those people who are in the land of Israel, but they are not aware of their Judaism, they're not aware of the holiness of the land of Israel, so make the land of Israel into the land of Israel. In other words, it depends on us. It depends on us. We have to be assertive. We have to do Torah, the commandments, and to try to influence other Jews to do the same. And the way that we eat, the way that we sleep, the way that we walk, the way that we talk, the way that we dress, everything that we do should be according to the Torah. And it should be in a happy way. Everything. How we deal with money, how we give charity, how our attitude toward our fellow man, toward everything should be according to the Torah. And of course, we don't fool ourselves. That's why learning Chassidut, learning the speeches of the Rebbe, that if you learn the Torah and you learn what the Rebbe says and you do everything, that fixes you up automatically 30%, 40%. The other 60% you have to do on your own, totally on your own. So you have to make decisions in life. And sometimes decisions are difficult decisions, to give charity to this. Okay, not to get angry. But nevertheless, all of this, so we're saying, yes, you have to make every moment holy, and that is the preparation for the future redemption, that when Mashiach will really bring all the Jews to Israel. And it's really going to happen. He'll even bring the Israelis to Israel. You know how many Israelis are living outside of Israel that left Israel? There's already 2 generations of Israelis, 2-3 generations that are living outside of Israel. They're living in Los Angeles, living all over the world. Israelis. Mashiach not only will bring the Jews back to Israel, he'll bring the Israelis back to Israel. Okay, even since but in fact, the future redemption it's still in the future. It has not yet arrived. Adayin lo bal b'rega zeh, at this moment. This was a speech the Rebbe gave 30 years ago. B'hashgacha pratis, but with divine intention, nimsam, we are still found here in, of course, the Rebbe speaking in America, in Brooklyn. But makom is manzeh, in this place and in this time. So we have to use every moment. We have to use the teaching of what the Rebbe, the third Rebbe of Chabad, that Tzemach Tzedek said, when the Chassid asked him, should I go to the land of Israel? He said, make here the land of Israel. Make the land of Israel here. As we spoke about before. Of course, everybody knows that outside of Israel is not Israel. But on the other hand, everybody does not know that in Israel can be outside of Israel. In other words, it depends on your attitude every single moment and every single place wherever you are. If it's connected to the Creator and doing what the Creator says in the Torah, then that's making the land of Israel, and that will bring the refinement of the world and the Jewish people, that Mashiach will actually build the third temple and bring all the Jews to Israel. What should we actually do? Because Israel, because this idea of making here Israel, making wherever you are holy, and whenever you are holy, every moment. This is a teaching. This is a teaching that Kavod Kedushas Mordechai, that the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Nasi Dorenu, the leader of our generation, he advertised. The Rebbe said a lot of times that the previous Rebbe, he was the Mashiach, and he's just carrying out the job. Well, before this law is a begilur, wasn't revealed. Move and it's understood. Shezui hara, this is a teaching for all the people of the generation. Shekashurim kulam, that all of them are connected to the leader of the generation, and Nasi Wakal. And especially when we're found now in these 3 weeks, the 3 weeks Shabbat that we read in the Torah about the Shabbos, especially where we're reading about the division of the land of Israel, that everything is already prepared for the Suda, and the whole world is already prepared for the Mashiach. And we're reading about it in the Torah portion, dividing the land and settling the land of Israel. Is Nimsa Malsaf, we are at the very edge, Hagula, of the redemption. The Chalukas Eretz Israel, and dividing the land of Israel, simply, each and every person has to add even more, in his service, the Asikan Eretz Israel, to make here the land of Israel. Every person has to make wherever you are a holy place. Kol echad b'echad, each and every one of us, Anashim, Nashim, Vatav, men, women, children, b'makomo, b'matzavahu, in his place and in his situation, lasod zot, to make this b'tach d'ashlemot, the ultimate completion, b'machshava dibur u'maisa, in thought, speech, and action of his. By means of this, litragel, he becomes accustomed to shlemos, to the ultimate completion and wholesomeness that will be when the real redemption occurs. The each and every Jew has a portion in the shlichus, has a job, a responsibility in the world. And this responsibility and this job was given to him by God. In other words, you're not just being created by God, God is also enlivening you. And God, you're not just being enlivened by God, God is also providing for you. He's giving you a soul, and he's also giving you food, and he's giving you also money. You have to open up a job, you have to do something, but the money is coming from God. So that's enough, right? No, God is also giving you senses. He's giving you talents. He's giving this, but the biggest gift that God is giving you is responsibility. That's what the Rebbe wants to say, and that's the idea. These are the words of the Mashiach. The biggest gift, all of those things that we have, that God is creating us and he's enlivening us and he's providing for us and he's giving us talents and he's giving us this, those, so to speak, are all means to an end. What's the goal? Mashiach. The goal is Mashiach. Mashiach will reveal the creator in the creation. That's the goal. But as the Rebbe just finished saying, every step and every detail in the journey and every, how do you say, every instrument which is used to bring this goal, namely our being, our existence, our life, our talents, of this, all of that is also holy, has to be used to serve God. So therefore, each and every one has a responsibility to fix up the world. That's the big gift that God gave us, responsibility. Echad ubal esek, whether the person is a businessman, echad enyani limud Torah, or whether we're talking about in matters of Torah. Similarly, bakal sug gufo, every type of person, big people, small people, top, dark people, light people, smart people, dumb people. Yesh lakol echad v'chilik, every single person has a job in the world. The kol echad, and each person is found in a certain portion of the world, sha'alav holich, where God took you, wherever you are. Like it says, Me'ashem mitzadei gavar konenu, that God guides the steps of every human being. Kevan shelichos, since that wherever you are there because God put you there, and God put you there because you have a job to do there. Hidavka is only in this specific place. Al derech, similarly also, benogei l'zman, or time. Lakal Rega. Oh, I know the story I wanted. Now I remember the story I wanted to tell you. Just 1 minute. Let me just write this down so I don't forget it. Okay, I got it. Okay. Lakal Rega, every single moment, every single hour, every day, every month, every year, every season. Yesh Avoda, we have a special service and a special, how do you say, mission, that a different one, wherever we are, every place. And a lot of times, I mean, not a lot of times, but there's sometimes where it's very visible that God sends us people that we can learn from, or that we can teach, or that we can receive from, or situations where we can help, we can be of assistance. Sometimes a person can think, how would it be? Ilu Hashem hoya nimsa b'makom acher. I'm sorry. How would it be if I was in a different place in a different time? It could be here I'm stuck over here in Detroit and South Africa and whatever. If I was just in another place, it would be different. It would be better than it is here now. Also, a person can ask a question. Since my service is since I'm only living in a little small corner of the world, and especially what is it really so important how I conduct myself here? How much more so that if there is no effect on the world. I remember once I missed a plane. It's a whole story. I missed a plane, and I had to spend a few hours in the middle of the night in a terminal, an airport terminal. I don't even remember where it was, airport terminal, and there was nobody there. Nobody there. So I thought, here I'm a religious Jew. God puts me. I knew this idea. God puts me everywhere for some purpose. What possibly purpose could it be here? There's nobody here. There's no one here. There's nothing what to do. So I learned Torah. I did whatever I could. And suddenly came the janitor. We got in a whole big conversation, me and the janitor, wonderful conversation, right? All of a sudden, from nowhere, finally the time for my plane came. We thanked each other with it. He had an effect on me. I had an effect on him. So God arranges things. A person can ask himself, what am I doing? I'm in some sort of corner of the world for no reason. So we say to every single Jew, there's a teaching from the leader of our generation. Israel, wherever you are, you have to make it into a holy land. Your service has to be not just a thought, not about thinking about what's going on somewhere else in the world, who's manacher in another place on its own. Elabat liyot shakua lagamri, you have to be totally sunk in. I am right here now. Don't think about somewhere else. In thought, speech, and action, make here the land of Israel. B'makomcha prati, in your individual place, ubakol rega, in every single moment, and at every single moment, nifredet, every moment, every single instant. But davkal yadev zeh, by means of this, tiful, you will bring about in the whole entire world, the kol makom b'kol zaman. You're doing a little something, but you have to remember, we believe in God. We believe in God. And we believe that the ends do not justify the means. Exactly the opposite. The ends are the means. Every single moment, I'm sorry, the ends do not justify. The means are the end. Every single moment, that's the goal, wherever you are. You're going to do some little tiny thing in some little tiny place, right? And what about, if you cheat, if you lie, then you'll get a lot of money for your yeshiva or for your whatever it is. And you're not going to do it out. Like they say, honesty is the best policy sometimes, right? It has to be all the time. So what's going to be? So the answer is God helps. God helps you. You just be honest. You do what it says in the Torah. Of course, you have to be assertive. It doesn't mean that you have to sit back and do nothing. You have to be assertive. You have to do whatever you can. You can't just expect God to do everything. God put you in the world to do. But nevertheless, the fact is that God does help. And if you do one good thing in one corner of the world, since the portion of your part of the world includes in it the whole entire world. Al derech, like it says in regarding to the dividing of the land of Israel, even though that each and every separate tribe and every family of every tribe received a certain small part of the land of Israel, nevertheless, every portion that there was contained in it, in a microcosm, the whole land of Israel. That's what it says. Eretz Asher Eini says that the eyes of God are on it constantly from the beginning to the end. The rabbis say, Ein Eretz Israel Chaser Klum, the land of Israel is not lacking anything. Lo sechsar kol bo. It's a sentence. It's nothing is lacking. Like the rabbis say, Ein lacham Yisrael. She'ein lo har. Every single Jew has a little part of a mountain, a little part of a valley of a. Come move on, so we can understand that every single person has to say that Bishvili Nivra Olam, that the world was created for me. Shekiv and Shekal Olam, since the whole world was created for the sake of each and every individual Jew. What does it mean? It's created for me, not to receive, for me to give, to fix up. Hari moving, so it's understood. Sheyesh Bekocho, so every single Jew has in the power to fix up the whole world. Al Yadezeh, by means of this, that he, in his little portion, is included inside of it the whole entire world. I think according to this idea of the butterfly effect with the chaos theory, whatever it is, that one little butterfly can make a wind, and that wind can have an effect on another wind and another effect until that affects the whole world. God, even though that your service, that what you're doing for God is only one little point in the world, like it's stressed many times that there were that also from Jews and from tzaddikim that we've already finished everything that we have to do. B'kein shekol Yisrael, also Jews b'chezkas kasheros. Every Jew, we suppose that they are good, and if they weren't good in the past, they're going to be good from now on. So we have to say that every Jew has already done what they have to do, even though that this was not. In all types of, some Jews are not, they're good at praying, but they're not good at learning Torah. They're good at doing good deeds, but they're not too good at doing the commandments. Good, but whatever they've done was in completeness. Hari be'emes kolel kol echad, each and every Jew has inside of him all of the different types of serving of God. Like it's understood from this that we say in Kriya Shema, and the mita bein begil gozel bein begil acher. Says, God, please forgive me if I caused anybody to sin, if I did anything, whether in this incarnation or in previous incarnations. Whatever God, how God makes these different incarnations that we've been in before, that for sure the reckoning of God is correct. Hari movement, so it's understood that you have the power to bring about that we can fix up even the previous incarnations that we were in. Therefore, you can do cheshbon nefesh on that. You can think, listen, maybe I didn't do anything bad, but maybe I'm fixing up things in the previous generations. And if I do something good, then that corrects what the whole entire me from all of the generations that I've been in. Who knows how many people I've been in before, how many lives I've lived, 10, 20, who knows. According to this movement, so it's understood that the service of every single incarnation will join together right now. You can fix the whole entire business up. You can fix up the whole entire world. And from this, we can understand that each and every Jew, no matter what is his mission in this world, has the power to make here the land of Israel. How do they say? Every journey begins with one step. You have to take that one step. Ali, they said, by means of this, you can make the whole world, improve the whole world. Even if a person is a Baal Esek Ben Yani Olam, even if a person is just a businessman, and he doesn't work in a synagogue or whatever, so a person can think, listen, what have I got the connection to making the land of Israel? I can't make here the land of Israel. I'm a businessman, just like my next door. The guy next door to me, he's not a Jew. The guy next to us is not a Jew. Right? When I go to these business conferences, there's no Jews there. I'm the only religious Jew in the whole business. How am I going to make here the land of Israel? I'm just a businessman. I'm a businessman. I do this in the day. I do the same thing as everybody else. This is relevant. You can these things, praying and learning Torah. This is relevant to being in a synagogue. Harry knows of the Zen. In addition to this, that a person can build. He can join in to build a synagogue. He can give money, for instance, but also even in his individual service of God, when he does it with completion, he has a minute. He opens up a chumash and he looks in it for 1 minute. If he uses that one moment in a complete sunkenness totally, then kolos, this includes in it all of the different types of service of all of the Jews in the world. Al Pizeh, according to this, now we can understand that each and every Jew has the obligation to bring the redemption in the whole entire world. Kavan Sha'al they said that because by means of this, Shu Oset Avodah, he does his individual, her individual service with thought, speech, and action, even in the detail of the details. Now, of course, a person can ask a question, and it's a justified question. 1 second. Jews have been sacrificing themselves, serving God above and beyond all call of duty, right? For thousands of years, Jews have been killed and they died on just to serve God for the sake of Judaism. Nobody even knows where they're buried. They did it all alone. What's going on? They didn't change the world. So what the Rebbe is saying is no, they certainly did change the world, and whatever they did is tremendously important and essential to changing the world. We don't see it now, but one of the main things, I don't know, maybe the main thing, the Moshiach does. The Rebbe wrote about this. He said before he was even 3 years old, he said he had it woven in his mind how Moshiach is going to come and he's going to explain all of the suffering of the Jewish people. So we'll see how every moment of that was worthwhile. Right now, don't ask me, because I mean, incomprehensible. Incomprehensible. And people always ask the question, if God is good, how could there be a Holocaust? This is a very justified question. Very justified question. What's the answer? I don't know. I don't know. Mashiach will come, he'll explain the whole thing. But meanwhile, we have to think about all the good things that God does also. All the people that are suffering, at one time they're created by God. They weren't created to suffer. So the fact that they were born and they were created is a miracle. Even a prat shabaprat. Berega echad u'b'makom echad, yesh v'kocho has got the power to transform it to the land of Israel. And by means of this, he can transform the whole world to bring the total redemption of all the Jewish people. In simple letters, ba'amdo karov mamish, that we are right now immediately before the future redemption. Each and every Jew has to accustom himself and live as though that we are totally in the redemption, that everything is in God's hands. Don't be frustrated. Don't be depressed. Don't be discouraged. Exactly the opposite. Be active. Be positive in thought, speech, and in action every single moment, wherever you are, according to the Torah. And by means of you transforming your individual day to a redemption day, and transforming the place where you are to the land of Israel, redemption place, by means of this, that you do all your service, completion, and thought, speech, and action, that is what is going to bring the Mashiach now. And now, Yom Yom. Now let's do the Yom Yom. 1 second. What's this? There's a moment. That's what the Rebbe said. That's what he said. He said, in this Sikha, he said that 10, 15 times. It comes from the Tzemach Tzedek. The land, a Chassid went to the Tzemach Tzedek and he asked him, can I go to the land of Israel? And he said, make here the land of Israel. From the Tzemach Tzedek. Okay, here we have now the Yom Yom. Today's Yom Yom. Let's turn this off and turn it on.